Your trade of the day is always brought to you by Day Trade the World. You know it's Manchester United today. It's Man U. It's been all about that all day long in terms of a trend trade. And let's be real for a second. This has been propped up by some deal speculation. Chance that there's going to be a buyer. We don't know who it's going to be or the price potentially of any kind of a deal. But what you can pay attention to is the price action the last 3 sessions. I mean, on your daily chart, this is the last 3 days. Breaking 13, right into resistance at 13.50, gapping the resistance on Wednesday, 16.5 into 19. Of course, we had Thursday, Thanksgiving, and the half day today, another big boom. So if you're trading on a holiday shortened day or a lighter volume style of market, you want to take advantage of what's moving. It was already gapping in the pre-market again, so you know what's in play. B, there's a catalyst behind it, a potential floor being put on the stock that you can take advantage of. So I just knew that I liked the long, but it's not as simple as I know what direction I want to be trading. So we've got the stock gapping up with a 20 bottom in the pre-market, and it makes a push early. Like I sit down around 7 or so I see it gradually go up to 20.50, but this is very early on, light volume at this particular point. I decide I want to take the same approach that I was trading on Wednesday afternoon, which is buying dips and consolidations, holding them through the break, buying more in the next consolidation, and continuing to play the trend up. Given that, I saw it break tops, I looked to get in, took a fill right before 8 o'clock, which I don't usually like trading that time of day. You saw it dip into that consolidation level. You get all those dark pool dumping, and it's too early for me, so I get out essentially flat and decide to regroup. I could have held on to it, was absolutely fine. But once we got a little bit closer to the open, at about 8:45 or so, 15 minutes after we came on air, I started scalping into this. 40s long into that high, up at that 65, 70 area, and then wait for the dip at the open. Now, this came before the open when it dipped down. And I got those 20s, and it was looking okay for a little bit. We actually got a fill up here, take about a 30-cent win on it, but there's one thing that was not going to let have happen to me. I knew I wanted to be long and probably only looking for longs. But on a day where I know there's light volume, there's no chance I was going to let this fill the gap. So at the open, I had my stop. I got stopped out, and I would rather take this stop out 10 times out of 10 than have it backfill that gap to 19 even. I anticipate that if it really flushed, you could have had a liquidity event. It is a half day. You could have had a liquidity event back into 19. What it told me on Wednesday was if it's going to trend up, you're going to be able to get back in. If your focus is in the right place, you're going to be able to get back on the train in the trend. Now, I did miss that immediate snapback, but once it broke that pre-market high, it's back to business. Break of the high, first consolidation, right back in here at 2040. This is where you start going into work. You're long, scalp it inside, taking some for 20 cents, taking some for 35, 40 cents. But what happens when it breaks the high again? Next level up, I'm getting 21s, much tighter range here. Take some out in front of the top for about 20 cents. Hold for the next push. Now, the next push was huge. When it took out 21.50, it was clean to 22. And the reason I got this out here, you got a wick top at an even $1.22 level, so it takes it out upside. Throw my trail. If it breaks that 22, most stocks, I'd be looking for short entries when you get a move like this and a wick top at 22, but it was enough for me to get out. Not some of it. I was actually out of everything when it got to 22. By this point, if you just had it at the open, you've already gotten 2040s. You've already been able to add easily at 21. The stock is giving you $22. So pretty good day on it, but there's still more dip to be had. Allow it to make a previous bottom. Is that higher than the previous resistance? Answer yes. Long yes. So back into the long, scalp some to the high, hold for the next curl, fails at 22.50, rinse and repeat, exactly the same thing, get some out on the way up. I did have one short that I thought better of almost instantaneously, got out of it pretty much flat. And then the last end of the day here, you're not expecting a ton of volume going into the close on a half day. So it's again held some support after breaking VWAP, doing some scalping off for the low. But the key thing is, on a day like today, you want to look for something that's trending. You want something that's doing volume, and you want to be able to join that trend. This is one of the only names out there that was worth it to get in, get out, continue trading it throughout the most of the session. Find what moves. There's a reason this was on our free watch list and at the top of the list, because you knew Man U was going to be active and the opportunities would be there. That's your trade of the day, brought to you as always by Day Trade the World.